Me and the boys were sitting around drinking, we was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden, what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said, I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun. Well, I looked around and we all agreed, and I had a drink and I ordered 3, and I staggered back to do it all again. Then we made an oath on a rum and coke with the best intention, I'm sure you know, that we would stop this living in excess. We're gonna have one more party, one more special occasion. Do it Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, holidays and weekends. We can have one more party. There's more hell we should be raising. One more party now, one more.
So in today's episodes of Garage Beers, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be re-siliconing parts of the bathtub and the basement bath. So when it was originally done, we didn't use the proper silicone, we used regular silicone. We found out that's not really how we were supposed to do. There's a few other things, to be honest. We're going to end up tiling it. We just got this plastic surround on right now, or acrylic, whatever you call it. What we did when it got glued on, what you're supposed to do is you put the glue on, you smear it around, then you actually stick it to the wall, take it off, and then stick it again, so it gets a lot more flat. But what happened is we didn't do that. We didn't know. That's a neat little trick that we found out later. There's kind of little bits of bubbles in there, but that's not really the concern right now, because otherwise I'm going to have to take it off, redo the drywall, all that other stuff. One of the other learning points was you have to use the proper silicone. So the silicone that ended up being used was literally just kind of what we had, and you can see we got this nasty looking discoloration. And you know, this bathroom is only about 4 years old, 5 years old kind of thing. It looks gnarly in a not good way. So I want to make sure it's, for the most part, still properly sealed, but I want to get rid of this, put the proper stuff so it is properly sealed, so the water's not going to get behind, wreck the drywall, and we're going to have to do a lot more. So the first thing we're going to end up doing is we're just going to get rid of this. So you can see there's little cracks, stuff like that, water can get in. I need to get rid of that. It's not the most pleasant of jobs, so the best way to kind of do it is I'm going to get rid of the stuff that's kind of just on the tub. And I'm going to just use kind of a green scratchy pad for that. That's literally just going to take a bunch of elbow grease. And then I'm going to use the good old X-Acto knife, whatever. Try to get in and cut this off. Now when we're doing it, you got to be careful because I don't want to actually wreck anything. So whenever you're taking silicone, there is no good way to get it off, really. As in for solvent, stuff like that. Because if I use a solvent, then there's a good chance it's just going to wreck this. So, really, just take here and try to cut along. Being careful not to mess up the wall. This is generally how you remove silicone at the best of times. And just do that. It's going to end up coming off in chunks. You can kind of see starting to come. We're going to pull this off all the way around. You can see, so just the outside bit, that's the stuff that's kind of turning that discoloration. It's not meant for bathroom sink and all that. And we got, it's white underneath. So this is what we need to get rid of, all of this. So it's going to come off in little pieces like this. Make sure you take care, you actually throw it away. Don't let it go down your drain, crap like that. And be careful when you're going against the tub or against the wall that you're not going to actually wreck this. It's time consuming, but it's pretty much the only way you're going to do that. So I'm going to time warp ahead to when that's all done. Alright, so we got all the yellow crap off. So as I was ever so reminded, that stuff there, we actually got this tub from the Restore, and it had like that protective plastic covering, and since when the house was getting built, that was left on it, then it was outside, so it's thoroughly baked on. So I, took the knife a little bit, try not to cut into the tub, made some more lines. I'm hoping over time it's just gonna come off. Now, why that caulk was yellow, not only was it just not the right kind of stuff, it was a sealant adhesive, the stuff actually used to put this stuff on. So, as easy as they make it look in other YouTube videos, it was horrible. It took me literal hours to try to get as much as I could off with the knife. And then the green scratchy pad, if you look, you can see the remnants that I have in there. Literally just using makeup, nail polish remover, the acetone, because I didn't want to, well, I was too cheap and too lazy to go buy the real acetone, plus I don't know what it was going to do to actually affect the actual backsplash there. So that's what I used, and I took most of it off. It's a lot better than what it was. Down here, I got as much as I could. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the good old, the actual kitchen and bath proper silicone, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with the tube. I'm going to cut a small hole because I'm just going to do these first, because cut it small because I don't need very much to seal that up. Same thing for kind of going along the edge. And then I'm going to make it bigger because I need to seal that, and that's a lot more separation. So I'm going to do all the small bits first, and then I'll do the big one. Show you what that looks like. Alright, so I'm going to try to do a bead with one hand. So when you are doing it, less is more. You don't need to make it a structural component of your bathroom. One thing I always have, so I get a wet rag right there, it makes cleanup a lot easier. You could also, if you were to tape off the lines, and you can see I kind of got it a little sloppy there. So if I would have tape there, that would make cleanup a lot easier. I don't. I'm also not too concerned about the overall aesthetic, because I want to redo this whole thing eventually. This is just more or less keep the water out. But to keep it nice, just like you would for painting, just kind of put tape right along here, like right as close as you can. So then when you go ahead, you do your bead, you take your finger, make it nice and smooth, as I'm going to show you. You pull the tape, and it's nice and clean. So I don't know how this is going to work out because I've only got one hand, but let's see how it goes. And I didn't cut. So I didn't cut it so small, so that's going to be the issue. So I'm going to stop from glooping. Little fact, take the pressure off, otherwise it's just going to keep pouring out the end. So I'm going to take quick tactical pause to cut it. Alright, so it's a little bit bigger here, so I can leave a bigger bead. I'm going to do my best to try to fill in that gap. Again, I'm not professional at anything. This is just how I do it. So if I'm giving you an aneurysm by watching me do this, please tell me all about it in the comments. I'd love to hear about how I'm supposed to be doing it. Alright, so that's done. Release the pressure so it's not going to gob out everywhere. Still put it so in case it does come out, it's not going to make a mess of something I don't want to make a mess on. And I'm just going to take my finger, make it nice and smooth, smoosh it into the corner. And the big thing is, you can see it kind of pushes in there. That's not good. So I'm going to do the old redneck fix and just use more silicone. Alright, I'm going to keep on doing that all the way around, fix that little hole, and we'll see what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, so there's the finished product. Literally just took my finger, ran it across, until it comes up. Use dry fingers, use that wet rag to make cleaning easier. Got that whole gap filled, pretty much just put the silicone, make sure that you don't have any holes where the water can get in. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look pretty, it definitely does not look professionally done. I'll take a little more, yeah. You are correct. But I'm not going to put any silicone there because that's just drywall, and hopefully there's not too much water going there anyways. That whole thing needs to be painted. It's just a little bit of splash. Like I said, we're going to end up putting all new tile here eventually, but not at the moment. So if you want it done professionally, go get it done professionally. If you want to know how to do it professionally, go on YouTube and actually see the professionals that show you how to do it. As a disclaimer, they're going to make it look a million times easier. Like I said, it took forever to get the old stuff off. Yes, it wasn't silicone, but, you know, I pulled silicone off. It never goes as easy as you want. Those dark spots is literally the edge. It's actually still sealed. If you look up close, I can't show you in the camera, but you can see a little bit of shine, so there is silicone. Again, you don't want huge globs of it, because then if you do have a huge glob could rip off and take the rest of it with it. So make sure it's nice and smooth as best you can. Clean up the mess. And you know what? The white just looks a lot better than the ugly yellow we had before. On that, that's this episode of Garage Beers. If you like it, then you know what? Or like, come keep on subscribing, checking out, see what I have, what I'm going to be doing. Always just stuff around the acreage. If you don't like it, tell me all about it. I'd love to hear it. Other than that, that's all I got for this episode. We'll see you next time.